Alright, so this is a match that I actually have great personal interest in, because the winners of this will, the winner of this match will actually advance to face me in the next round. Alright. Oh, is that so? Okay, looks like we're off. We got greatjhon going into Magnet first, which is a popular beginner's route, but also very, very viable at any level of play. We've got Zeegee using top first, which is the currently accepted, fastest route, but does involve a few more perilous stages toward the beginning. So we won't really have a great idea of how these people sync up exactly until towards the end of the A robots. greatjhon struggling a little bit on the eyeball stairs room there. That's a bit of a doozy. So is this screen. These two stages that they're starting with, they're not really easy stages, I wouldn't say. Ooh. Zeegee having some trouble with the cats. And greatjhon taking his time on the Yoku blocks. So you can see that, like, the Yoku block section here is really what makes Magnet not the maiden route in in high level play anymore, because that's very slow. And Zeegee will be coming back with Rush Jet and skipping basically all of that section and gaining quite a bit of time because of that. Alright, let's see how greatjhon handles the Magnet fight. This is, like, the pattern that he was getting was pretty safe towards the beginning, but it is also slow. You kind of want to take damage boosts on the shield patterns in order to accelerate the fight. But you also need to be mindful of your health, and so greatjhon's done a great job of getting through stage 1 without a death. It looks like Zeegee's about to repeat that feat. Very nice. Needle first is actually also a viable route, although it's basically just a strictly slower version of Gemini first. The needle fight sucks out a lot of the time that you could otherwise save. Alright, so again, different second stages for these two runners. greatjhon doing a pretty good job with the first screen of Hardman. You want to kill these bees with Magnet Missile, but you don't actually have enough to spend, because you still need it for the boss. So you switch to Rush Coil for the last one, and then use that for the rest of the stage, or a decent portion of it. Here's a Proto Man fight. You would have seen one on greatjhon's screen in Magnet, where you can see that, like, Proto is a damage sponge. He has 28 HP in each of these rooms, and so you need to have a pretty steady rhythm of shooting in order to take him down quickly. Zeegee having a little bit of trouble with this dark screen, which is one of the most intricate and technical screens in the entire game, and my personal favorite to practice. It's a very difficult screen, so it's not a surprise. Okay. Perilously low on HP is Zeegee. And greatjhon just approaching the hardman fight. Looks like he's going to take it safe and not take the quick deboost to cancel the freeze. Even though he had tons of health. I guess when a fight doesn't start out quite the way you want it to, it's sometimes a bad idea to like try and take that. It's sometimes a bad idea to try and take that and transition back into business as usual. So Zeegee unfortunately took a death on Shadow Man and is going to have to repeat the fight with much less ammo. Oh no! And this is one of the unfortunate consequences of that is that now he's got no ammo. You have to be very careful when approaching the Shadow Man fight with low ammo, because it's very possible to just like lose a bunch of it because you're spinning into his iframes. So this Shadow Buster fight is actually a lot of fun to practice. I suggest that all runners should do it at least for fun, if not as a backup for when you run out of ammo. So as a bonus, greatjhon with Magnet Missile and Hard Knuckle is now going to speed up some parts of the Top Man stage that you saw Zeegee kind of like have to take a slower approach on. greatjhon likes his health. In his position, I might be tempted to take the HP that's in the Met room there. Zeegee's still struggling a little bit on Shadow Man. That's unfortunate. That might be a game over. It is. That sucks. He's gonna have to redo the whole stage. You don't want to underestimate the difficulty of that fight with Buster. Like, that's one of the toughest and possibly one of the most rewarding fights to practice Buster only. So we've got greatjhon now through 3 stages. Zeegee is approaching the midpoint of his second after having to after getting kicked back to the menu there a little bit. But I would never downplay the possibility of disaster at any point in this game. This is a very tough game to speedrun, so I wouldn't call the race over by any means. It's interesting, a rare look at the 2 runners in the same stage before, say, Sparkman. greatjhon doing a great job of that Proto Man fight. Taking out the eyeballs nicely. He's starting to gain a little bit on Zeegee, but we'll see. We'll see who gets the last laugh on the shadow fight. Here's another difference. With Magnet Missile, this section becomes much easier and a little bit faster as well. You can just kind of blitz through this whole area. You don't have to worry about any risky strats with topspin turnarounds or, or waiting at ledges. Zeegee with no difficulty on the second go around in Shadow, so props. And greatjhon with an okay fight himself, and so now they'll probably both be going to Gemini Man next. It's actually funny, the the routes kind of converge in this weird way, where the third, fourth, and fifth stages of of Magnet First are basically the same as the first 3 stages of Top First. And then it could even continue further beyond that. I don't know what Zeegee uses as his 4th stage. Or, sorry, no, actually, we continue beyond that to the 4th and 6th stages, respectively. And then I don't know whether it would continue beyond that. There's no such thing as 100% in this game. There's no collectibles to collect, and there's no optional stages to play. Any percent is just used because people expect people to use the word any percent when describing the basic version of a run. Oh, greatjhon tried for the Gemini zip there. You kind of get stuck in the ceiling and then use a tadpole to bounce you through. But unfortunately wasn't quite able to make it happen. Alright, Zeegee, I believe wisely going for some health here. This is... actually, this stage is actually, like, kind of dangerous for damage reasons as well as for falling in the pit reasons. So, like, the Gemini fight is not an easy fight. It's like both runners deciding to take it a little slow and easy through this perilous screen, which I think is not a bad idea. It costs like 20 seconds to die in here. Maybe even more if you're towards the end, so... Alright, so greatjhon now ahead both by stages and in the side-by-side. Although, ooh, that could change real quick! Okay, he's good. Gemini's an interesting fight because, like, there's definitely this... especially in the second half of the fight, there's this inevitability of the way that Gemini approaches you. And yeah, it's very much your problem to figure out, like, how to get around Gemini at this, like, walking juggernaut coming to beat you up. Alright, so yes, Zeegee and greatjhon continuing this trend of playing the same stages, although this is greatjhon's 6th stage and Zeegee's 4th. You'll notice a difference of strats here, so Magnet Missile is faster in this section a little bit, and so it is used to great effect. Some a little bit weird unorthodox strats that I have not really seen before from greatjhon there, but seems to be reasonably effective. Zeegee also choosing to kind of go around the Mets instead of kind of through them. Unfortunately getting clipped by the dragonfly at the very end there. That's those hitboxes are kind of mean, I'm not gonna lie. So many times I've been surprised because I got hit by them. Okay. So now greatjhon has taken down Needleman. I didn't get to see the fight, so I have no idea what kind of pattern it was. But there basically is about a second or so of variance between a good pattern and a bad one. Maybe a little more. Zeegee got a kind of middling pattern as well, a short jump into a into a headbutt. All right. So let's. I'm actually interested to see what Zeegee's next stage is. Oh, he's going to Snake! Hell yeah! The sync continues. They will probably diverge from here because Spark is usually done last in just about any route. So in Snake Man stage, the common strat is to make heavy use of Rush Jet. You may, at later points in the tournament, see some runners use Magnet Man's weapon, the Magnet Missile, because there are some strats to make it just barely faster, which are very risky and very difficult. But for the vast majority of runners, what you'll see is this sort of using Rush Jet to fly over things, and perhaps do snake zips. Although I don't think that's terribly likely in this case. Rush Jet, of course, has a reputation in this game being ridiculously overpowered. And of course, it is. That's definitely true to a certain extent. You do have to be careful not to run out of ammo. greatjhon just barely makes it. And I'm a little bit concerned about Zeegee's ammo as well. We'll see how things go. It's a Snake Man fight. You can jump after, like, going to the middle, going to the end, or, like, not until even later. Getting on Jet very early, this actually quite worries me. He's going to have to be very careful about this. He might actually have to just bail and take the blocks. Oh my god. Oh my god! Alright, he made it. That was terrifying for me, and I'm sure for him as well. Alright, greatjhon into his last Robot Master stage. Sparkman. Sparkman's one of the easier stages in the run, and that's why you commonly see it towards the end. Even though for greatjhon, he could have done this stage 5th, and no serious difference would would occur in the speed route. Like, it's done last because it's the easiest stage and the most consistent stage for most people. And so you'll probably see that from Zeegee as well. Zeegee now going to Magnet Man as his 6th stage, and you will see all of the benefits that having access to weapons like Shadow Blade and utilities like Rush Jet give you. Oh, using Shadow Blade way earlier than I expected. This is actually really exciting. You don't often get to see alternative strats like this. This is the kind of unorthodox, but it can be useful. Shadow Blade does double damage to Proto Man, so he only had to do 14 shots there instead of 28. Ooh, having a little bit of trouble getting past the Springer there. Oh no! That's a classic. Those eyeballs do a lot of damage. So do the so do the Springers. So greatjhon now out of 8 robots and heading into the dock robots, which are the more challenging sort of alternative versions of the corner stages. We'll see which one he goes first. You can pick them in any order. It doesn't matter at all to the speedrun. But by convention, people tend to switch pick the stages that they find most difficult first. Or sometimes they may pick the one that they find the easiest in order to get some momentum going. We'll see how greatjhon handles Doc Spark. I think generally considered one of the easier stages among the Doc robots, but not without its difficulties. All right. So one of the first difficulties here is that in the Doc robots, if you die to the mid-boss, like the first of the two Mega Man 2 refights, you actually go all the way back to the beginning of the stage. And in the specific case of Doc Spark, it's even meaner than that. If you die in the spikes on the way out of this fight, and into the basement area, basically. If you die on the spike fall, you have to redo the whole stage again. It's actually horrifying. But it looks like he survived, and will not be suffering that fate. Oh, Zeegee taking an unfortunate death on Magna Man there. The fight is much faster, but at the same time, you don't have access to a long-range weapon like the Buster. You're using a puny little shadow blade that you can only have one of out on the screen, and it doesn't go that far, so it can be difficult, even though it has that fantastic damage. Alright, greatjhon fighting Doc Quick, which is one of the hardest boss fights, and one of the most rewarding to practice, for me anyways. He's fast, and he does 8 damage on contact. Alright, greatjhon taking an E-Tank. I think that's not only a valid play, but a recommended one when you're such low health. The typical strategy is to try and take damage from the boomerangs rather than from the body of the Doc Robot, because it does 8 and they do 2. Something like that. Zeegee into Hardman, so there's some more stress that are different here between the two routes. See Shadow Blade used to kill these bees. Unfortunate miss there. It looks like he's just going to power through. You can see why we try to kill the bees. Because, oh my goodness. greatjhon in one of the most perilous screens of all time. It's really easy to, like, take a jump just a tiny bit too short, or, like, fail to slide, and find yourself in a pit. So it's very nice that he's managed to get through that screen with no major difficulties. And now there's a little bit of a mash test getting across this tadpole barrier. Oh my goodness, Zeegee is pursued by all the forces of the Monkey Kingdom. greatjhon now going to fight Doc Flash. So Doc Flash is interesting. I think they're both on the US version of this game, and that means that Doc Flash actually fires for quite a bit longer than in the Japanese version. In the Japanese version, you'll get like one bullet, maybe two, and you'll be basically instantly unfrozen. But in the US version, that's not the case. It actually lasts for quite a while, and you get a big spray. It's difficult to avoid taking damage in that case. greatjhon is using a sort of safety strat there, using Jet. Basically like a slightly more versatile version of Rush Marine. Zeegee just about to fight Hardman. Looking for Magnet Missile. There we go. Taking it nice and safe on the fight. Very nice. Oh no, he's out of ammo. Thankfully, there's only 4 HP left. He can basically just shoot anything into him and it'll be fine. Very nice. So Zeegee's just got 1 Robot Master left to go and he can join greatjhon in the dock stages. Very nice, using Darko's method for the despawn of the music. So basically what happens is you scroll the screen and you die on the same frame, and it keeps you alive, but then you also it doesn't restart the music afterwards. And that, in this game and all other NES games, basically saves time because of less lag. Zeegee using some strats that I haven't seen. I'm not sure if ever, but certainly not in a while. In that second screen of Spark, it was very interesting to see. I really enjoy all of the different approaches that runners find for the various sections of this game. Oh no, Zeegee got clipped by the little slider there. That's a mistake that... It feels like it takes forever to stop making that mistake. greatjhon doesn't have quite enough ammo for this section. What's he gonna do? Oh, Shadow Blade! 6 strat. So he's gonna use Shadow Blade on the Springer as well. I really like that. Alright, so Dock Heat. You're aiming to get a double hit here. Oh. Okay, looks like a 30, 30. Oh, triple 30. Very nice. Didn't get the double hit, but wasn't really punished for it either. So, that's not too bad at all for John. Zeegee accidentally accidentally kept Rush Jet on him when he got back onto land. Oops. Shot the Shadow Blade the wrong way, too. If I had a penny for every time I made that mistake. Okay, so I believe Dock Needle is greatjhon's final Dock Robot. And Zeegee just starting them. So definitely a pretty significant lead for greatjhon at this point. Heading into Dock Air, which is another ridiculously hard boss. Basically, it's very difficult to get shots through to hit Dock Air. So you end up kind of like just deboosting through all the air shooters, but then health becomes a resource. And if you're mashing like that, then ammo is a significant resource too. You can see that greatjhon ended with like 2 ammo. Very nice job dispatching the parachutes there. So now the objective here is to jump up, and so basically when you jump over the top of the screen, it not only does it stop drawing Mega Man, which saves time, it also causes these dragonflies, because like you screen wrap, your hitbox screen wraps, it wraps back to the bottom of the screen, and so the dragonflies actually go way further down, and as they're going further down, you can scroll them off the left edge of the screen and despawn them. So that's a pretty significant time savings if you can get all of those in that screen. And greatjhon did a mostly good job of that. Some rare usage of Search Snake here. Search Snake is actually a good weapon, it's just like it doesn't fit into the route of most stages. but it finds its time to shine here. Zeegee now going to fight Doc Flash. Doc Gemini is the typical first Doc stage for many runners, because it's like such a difficult stage and so easy to take a death. All right, greatjhon doing a sort of a corner fight there. That actually resembles the fight from Mega Man 2 quite a bit. If you're doing like Prissy's style of the fight, I enjoyed that a lot. So now greatjhon is out of Doc Robots and going into the Wily Castle, but has to fight Breakman first, who is this mysterious entity unrelated to Proto Man and with a little bit less health. 24 instead of 28. Zeegee also taking Rush Jet across the lake here. Pretty solid safety strat. This screen is impossible. It's the shortest impossible screen in the game. I don't understand how people do it fast. Alright, Wily 1. Here we go. So, taking damage off of the... Looks like greatjhon is choosing to take damage off the small top instead of the maker there. That saves health a little bit. You also have the option to, take a faster deboost against the maker itself, or you could even kill it. There are a few options for dealing with those screens. Early switch to Magnet here. Magnet will be used in the next screen to kill a few Hammer Joes. Oh, missed the shots on the first one. That's an unfortunate thing. You have to be very careful about how Magnet is tracking, because it basically tracks the first thing that it sees on screen. Oh, Zeegee messed up or deliberately died? I don't know which. I didn't see. But either way, not attempting the music despawn on Doc Shadow. I'm going to play through the stage with music, which loses about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, something like that. All right. So, greatjhon having a pretty typical turtle pattern, not too bad, not too great. Heading into Wily 2, so I'm interested to see what strats he uses. Most players, except at the very highest levels, will use Rush Jet to go across the spikes here. But there are strats that you can use where you switch to Coil instead, and it's a little bit faster, but much more perilous. Looks like Jet is the choice here. Oh, an alternative route that picks up an extra E-Tank. That's very nice. Zeegee getting bullied a little bit by Woodman there, but no problem. Alive and well. I'm choosing to use Gemini Laser to kill these Hammer Joes, which saves ammo and lets you kill everything basically trivially with Magnet and not worry about getting any ammo drops. Okay. Easy Devil successful for greatjhon. That requires getting 10 hits across 2 jumps, so that's actually a pretty significant bit of jump mashing there. Wily 3. What? Oh. I thought that was a really cool strat that I hadn't seen before, but it turns out it was just a miss menu. Unfortunate. So, Coil to get over this. Oh, no! Alright. Zeegee gonna take a second try at Doc Heat here. He's done. Very nice. I believe that's his second Dock stage. He'll be going to probably Dock Needle next. Yeah, looks like it. greatjhon fighting the Mega Man clones here. He's gonna switch weapons after shooting a shot with coil out. Basically what happens is the lemon stays on screen, and then it just takes on the properties of the weapon that you switch to. So, I mean, Top Man's weapon is the weakness there, and it persists. It persists if you if it lingers in the enemy hitbox, because they don't have iframes. There's nothing to absorb it, right? And so it basically instantly pastes those Mega Man clones. Into the refights. So we got Snake Man coming up first, and probably gonna go to Shadow afterwards, and then kind of cross the bottom of the screen, and then up, and then taking the side teleporters last. Zeegee. Oh, that's very low health. I'm a little bit worried for Zeegee. He can't take another hit. He needs to E-tank. Okay, very nice. greatjhon continuing this little romp through the teleporter room here. These refights are actually my favorite refights to play. Okay, Zeegee ran out of ammo. As, you know, ammo is a resource in this fight, especially if you're mashing. Like, you have to be careful. Alright, greatjhon gonna use Gemini against Gemini. Fun fact, every boss in this game, or sorry, every Robot Master in this game takes 4 damage from its own weapon. So in some cases, this is as good as the normal weakness, and in other cases, it basically functions like a soft weakness. Oh no, a little bit of a miss there. Oh, Zeegee takes another hit and dies. I'm hoping... Okay, he does have another life, but that's not a lot of ammo. He's gonna have to be very careful about jumping on Rush Jet. And maybe pick up an ammo at the pit stop. Oh, he wasn't high enough. He could have jumped up and collected the ammo by screen wrapping. But he's not high enough to make it happen. I'm a little bit worried about him falling through now. He's going to have to be very careful, very careful, very careful. Or he can just stop here. Oh, man, this is terrifying. It looks like he's just barely made it. greatjhon into the final 2 stages of the game. These are just very small stages with instantaneous boss fights. The first of which is this Wily Machine. Both phases are weak to 7 snakes. So that's the first phase. Now shooting a couple for leg. Oh no, he shot 3 for leg. No. So basically, you normally want to shoot a couple snakes for leg. That makes it easier on you to do the jump mashing. But if you shoot all 3 snakes, then you can't shoot another one to actually get the job done. So. Alright, looks like he made it. The job is done. And Wily is defeated. Or is he? We got one more stage to go. This is a Gamma fight. This is a fight with 2 phases. The first phase is Shadow Blade, and then the second phase, there's a couple of different alternative methods. I'm curious to see which one greatjhon is going to use. Alright. So starting with Shadow Blade, this is pretty much done by everybody. Ooh, Zeegee having a little bit of trouble shooting the correct direction here. Alright, greatjhon uses a switch similar to in Wily 3, and finishes with a time of roughly 39 minutes. Zeegee still going strong. Just one dock stage left to go. Seems to be trying to decide what strat he's going to use. Alright, using Jet to come up here. Now... Gemini laser. Oh no! He fired a little bit too early. Or too late. Now proceeding through the stage normally. Looks like he's avoiding sliding too much. You need to be careful. There's a lot of pits here. Doesn't look like he has enough ammo to try the Gemini fight against Doc Quick later in the stage. But that's kind of an expert thing anyways, not something you would expect relatively new players to attempt. Alright, safely through the spikes. I'm going to tackle the basement area here. There are a couple of enemies that you can actually despawn by just kind of letting them walk themselves off the right edge of the screen. Doesn't look like Zeegee's gone for this. He's just kind of straightforwardly going through the stage. Just a couple screens left in the dock stages here. He's got one E-tank, one life in spare. So I have a firm belief that he'll make it. Especially if he knows to take damage against the boomerangs. Oh, looks like he actually just chose to die there. He's gonna save all his resources for this next life. Doc Quick, very quick. Oop. Okay. Alright. I don't really have a way to describe this fight. Basically, Doc Quick just jumps all over the place, and you want to hope to get hit by the boomerangs instead of the body. But it looks like Zeegee is taking pretty good care of the boss, and is now headed into the Wily Castle. Again, this Proto Man fight, or sorry, Breakman. This is not Proto Man. This is Breakman. Less HP than Proto Man in the robot stages. Wily with an E ran off with Gamma. There are two schools of thought over whether you should split on Breakman or not. Zeegee, similar to greatjhon, choosing to take damage off the tops instead of the bodies, because they do significantly less damage. Damage can be a factor in this stage. Taking it nice and easy over the spikes. Laudable play. I'm curious about his approach to the Hammer Joes. Looks like he's going to use Magnet. You do have to be careful. I believe... So what happened to greatjhon in refights there, you saw him have to use Buster at the end of the Hardman refight, and that's... Actually, the seeds of that were sown in this stage. When he used a little bit too much ammo on the Hammer Joes. So, because your ammo doesn't refill after every stage in these Wily stages, And actually, you do need to be very careful about what resources you're using when. I think that's a really interesting and fun part of this speedrun. Using Shadow Blade against the Kamigoro Maker. This is hot. This is a strat that is much more difficult than using Top Spin, but it saves a little bit of time because you don't have to switch pages in the menu to switch to Shadow Blade. Well, getting pretty good luck from the Maker as well. When the Maker goes right at the beginning of its pattern, you know it's going to be one of the two better patterns. And when it goes left, then it's the slower versions. Okay. Taking it nice and easy over the spikes again. Oh no! Oh no! I wonder if he did that pause on purpose just to make it go faster. I don't know. But like in Mega Man 3 as opposed to Rockman 3, you can't really save yourself quite as easily when you like land on spikes. And the reason for that is that in Mega Man 3, your iframes like continue to run down when you're in your menu, whereas in Rockman 3, your iframes are preserved basically through the menu, and so you'll actually stay invincible when you come back out. Whereas in Mega Man 3, you'll just die. So it would have still been possible to save, I believe, but he would have had to like use a higher jump and like banked on getting hit by the bees just as he came out of the menu. It's very difficult to actually recover falling down there in the US version. Much easier in the Japanese version. So Yellow Devil here. The blocks come in the same pattern every time. So once you get some experience with that, you can anticipate it. Looks like Zeegee's just kind of fight in a kind of straightforward way, the way you might if you were playing the game for, you know, the third or fourth time. Oh no! I looked away for a second and he died. That's unfortunate. I guess you gotta really respect Yellow Devil because the contact damage is like 8 once the pieces have all formed up. That's a pretty significant portion of your health. So yeah, you definitely have to be very careful when fighting this boss. Alright. Oh, gonna lead the bees on a wild chase here. Oh, okay. That jump was a little bit early and I thought he was gonna die, but it was fine. Unfortunately, there's no checkpoint in this stage. So, yeah, if you die, you go all the way back and have to do the whole thing again. It's probably a minute loss, or maybe more. Ooh. Oh! Ha! What a god! Alright. done in 3 phases. So that's not actually that much slower than doing it in 2 phases. As you can see, the transition from the second to third phase is very quick because the blocks just kind of all jump over at once instead of one at a time. It's a curious choice to use Jet here. Usually, the typical choice is Coil, but I guess... Oh, maybe it was a mismenu. Who knows? Ooh, okay. Picking up the E-Tank, always a good policy, especially when you're newer to a game. Alright, so he switched off Rush Coil, which does kind of help because it gives you an extra lemon to work with in that screen, which can be difficult sometimes. But now, the cost of this is this next screen might be actually a little bit more difficult. Although it looks like... Oh no! That was so close! He grabbed the ladder, but then he got pushed off by the log. He's going to use Snake against the Mega Man clones. So Snake is another weakness of the Mega Man clones, but it doesn't have the same sort of piercing properties that Topspin has. So it's a little bit slower, and also the Rush Coil trick wouldn't necessarily work as well with it. Zeegee gonna refill his Shadow Blade a little bit. Shadow Blade is actually one of the resources that you have the most of across the run. So that was maybe not strictly necessary, but it can be nice to have some extra ammo in your back pocket, especially going into a long gauntlet of boss fights like this. Okay. Health is another important resource for these boss fights. And Zeegee is entering the refights with a little bit less health than I would normally recommend. But we'll see how he copes with that. Oh, it looks like he's going to go to Shadow Band first. And going to take an E-Tank instantly. Okay, that's a pretty good policy. I'm curious about the order he intends to do the rest of these bosses. Okay, so Top Man with the Hard Knuckle is a pretty quick fight. You gotta just make sure you don't get the victory pose. If you fire the Hard Knuckle directly, like if you're point blank, Mega Man will just kind of hang there, still frozen from the animation of shooting the Hard Knuckle. And so that can be problematic. It freezes you there for like 4 seconds. Alright. Are we gonna see Snake against Gemini? We are! This is my favorite run. Getting to see all sorts of things that I never see. Nope. Okay. I wonder what the weapon of choice here is. Maybe Spark? Oh, Shadow Blade. Okay. Nice. Well, there's 2, 3, sorry, actually. Because he didn't do Snake first. Alright. Oh no! That was so close. That was basically the right strat. He just, like, missed his shot by a tiny amount. And then he missed it again by a tiny amount. The bank shot comes through this time. Calling the middle pocket there. There's just 2 Robot Masters left to fight here. And then just the final Wily fights. And Zeegee will be through. taking the health. A Sparkman can be a dangerous fight, especially if you're relatively inexperienced. Oh, is he going to use Needle for this fight too? That'd be pretty sick. One of the wonderful things about this game is that the damage tables have like so many options. You can use a ton of different weapons to do at least 2 or 3 damage to a boss. And so in a refight situation like this, that actually offers quite a bit of like dynamism in the route. All right. Oh, I jumped the gun a little bit there, trying to get into the middle. You do have to actually wait until it leaves the side of the screen there. Oh, I'm a little bit worried. Oh, maybe he's just gonna use Rush Jet. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty solid approach. Oh, getting owned by the shot from the previous phase. That's unfortunate. That can happen to the best of us. Alright, so these wily bosses generally don't have iframes, so you can just kind of mash them down. That's what makes Rush Jet so viable there for that second phase. And now it's just Gamma. So, one fight with Shadow Blade and one fight with either a coil swap to top or with Snake if you're a masher. Zeegee has not struck me as a masher, so I'm expecting a coil swap of some sort. Or perhaps... Oh! Oh! Oh my goodness! I love this. You also have the option to just like jump up using the fist and get at him directly. So, GG to Zeegee. Just give us a moment to set up the next race. Be right back. All right. Should be getting started fairly soon now. We got both runners back. greatjhon taking an early 1-0 lead. But I know more than anything, this game can take its toll on people. And it's very, very possible that Zeegee could have the run of his life, and greatjhon could have some unfortunate difficulties. Okay, here we go. Both runners sticking with the same route they used the last time, which is always a good sign. You never want to like be waffling on which route you want to use through the game. greatjhon using magnet first, which is again pretty solid beginner and intermediate and even advanced route. You could play this at any level of skill. And Zeegee using top first, which is similarly a route that you could use at any level of skill, but is more more heavily played by the top by the highest level players. So top first is the actually like fastest route, but on most time scales, like the difference between the two routes is basically minimal. It's maybe 6 seconds or so in a run of 30 to 35 minutes. Sorry, 35 to 40 minutes for most people. I believe in the day we'll have 30-minute runs of Mega Man 3. I believe that my hands won't make it to that time. Alright. Zeegee and greatjhon right now on pretty similar paces. The length of the stage in both cases is fairly similar. You know, about 2 minutes. And so you can pretty directly compare them in this one very specific instance, and then they're going to diverge basically instantly after that. Alright, Zeegee with a pretty good start here. Looks like he's going to get the third phase. Very nice. Okay, so next up, Hard Man for greatjhon, and it's going to be Shadow Man for Zeegee. And we'll see if Zeegee is able to improve on the unfortunate results he had in Shadow Man last time. So yeah, like it should not be understated. Shadow Man is a very hard stage, and it's not that strange to find yourself gaming over in this stage. Like it's something that's happened to everybody, including myself. Even like well after I was a top runner. So absolutely no shade there. Pun semi-intended. greatjhon at the checkpoint screen in Hard Man. I'm gonna take down these dozers. Very nice. The dozers, man, the dozers are like uniquely gifted at blocking shots. they behave in ways that are too mysterious for any human to fathom. Proto Man fight here. This is the hardest Proto Man fight because the ground is uneven, and so like every single different like moment of the fight is different from every other one. You have to be very careful about not, you know, jumping too high, too low. Oh. Okay. Well, he's got enough ammo, so he's through the fight, no problem. And Zeegee, keeping pace. Oh, sorry. That's funny. I thought it was a mistake, but actually he's just taking a deliberate death because he didn't like his HP. Okay. I like that strat. It reminds me of something that I used to do as a kid, was like, I would always try the fight first with Buster, if I had any missing health at all. That takes me back a little bit there, that deliberate death. greatjhon now into Top Man stage. He is not behind. They're doing different routes. So yeah, he's going to have access to a couple weapons that make the stage a little bit faster, which is one of the trade-offs involved in between the two routes. All right, taking care of the first cat right, nice and quickly. The magnet missile. This is the primary benefit. And then the other benefit, actually, now that I think about it, this is actually the minor benefit. The major benefit is having the weakness for Top Man, but for some reason I just didn't even consider that, because I mean obviously there's a converse difference in Magnet stage. Ooh, looks like Zeegee didn't get the proto skip. That's unfortunate. So that's actually a pretty significant loss. If you don't manage to skip that cutscene, it loses, 5-10 seconds just there. And then another 5, maybe 10 seconds of lag because the music is still going. Oh, no. When things go off the rails in this tadpole screen, it's just, impossible to get caught back up. That's so relatable. Alright, so now we got greatjhon through 3 stages. Zeegee about halfway through his third. Oh, and we actually get to see the big penguins! I love this. I don't like it because it means that Zeegee had to go slow, but I do like that I got to see the graphics. Normally what you see there is a bunch of jumbled blocks that are left over from Snake Man stage. So, it's nice to see what was originally intended, even if it meant that Zeegee had to go slow. Ooh. Getting a little teaser of the Gemini wiggle there. Alright, taking the E-Tank. Always a good idea. And let's see, he's not using the buffer strat to get around the Stomper. Okay, looks like he's just preferring to line it up manually. greatjhon now, again, the reason that people do Magnet first is to have Magnet Missile for all these stages. And there are plenty of uses for it. It's such a good weapon. It just has the ability to take care of all of these weird situations that you might otherwise end up in. Zeegee with a little bit of a hair-raising fight, but manages to pull through and is out of Shadow Man. So, no, not Shadow Man, Gemini Man. I can't speak. Alright. Zeegee heading into Needle. Needle is one of the relatively easier stages of the robots. And it's also the shortest of them. Consisting of mostly just a couple of longer screens, surrounded by a few shorter ones. This long screen, I actually really enjoy practicing this long screen, even though it involves a fair bit of mashing at the start. There's something about the movement here that's really satisfying. And same with the screen that greatjhon's on. This screen is a joy to practice, just because like you have to place your shots so precisely in order to kill everything just as it comes on screen. Alright, greatjhon does skip the proto cutscene, and so he's saving like 15 seconds or so there just from that. And he gets the zip! Very nice! So again, you get yourself basically, you're in the ceiling. When you exit the slide, you like exit the slide tunnel inside the ceiling. And if you get hit at that moment, then the damage animation will just carry you through the wall. And there are a couple other places where you could set up something like that, but they mostly use RushJet and like are sub-pixel reliant and otherwise kind of unpalatable. So people don't tend to do them in speedruns. That's the only major zip of the run. So let's see how he deals with the single blocks. Last time, I think that he took it pretty safe, mostly just kind of walking across them and killing everything in the way. So we'll see if he repeats that. It seems like that is the case. Because that's an interesting case where he did a slide there. It looks kind of dangerous, but it's actually very safe. In this game, if you slide off an edge, you can make it across 2 blocks and down 1 every time without dying. Alright, Snake Man for Zeegee. We got Gemini Man Fight for greatjhon. Let's see how he does it. Okay, taking a fairly basic approach to the fight. No big deal. Done nice and quick. Zeegee showing great use of RushJet here to get over the snake bosses. You can also zip through them. It's a different kind of zip than the Gemini zip, but it's kind of like risky to go for because every time you miss it, you're like exposing yourself to extra shots from the mid boss, and it's not a trivial like set of inputs to do in order to like actually accomplish that and save the like couple seconds that you can get with it across the stage. So yeah, again, using RushJet to just fly over this. This is a pretty, this is what I would recommend that just about everybody do. If you're at the highest levels of the game, then you're probably going to want to start doing the snake zips, but for just about everybody else, RushJet is your friend. greatjhon again showing off how useful Magnet Missile is in these stages where the top first route doesn't have access to it. Oh, Zeegee is out of ammo again. Oh my goodness. No, he falls down this time. Oh, that sucks. So now he's got to go all the way back, and he has to redo this. And there is no freestanding ammo to just like pick up. So he's gonna have to go across the old-fashioned way. And let me tell you, that is perilous for multiple reasons. The collision with those like cloud platforms as they emerge from the stacks is not It's not very intuitive. You see how he got zipped there, like an entire block? He could get zipped off the edge of one of these and just kind of die. Like, it's very dangerous. Oh no, he died again! That's unfortunate. Taking a game over, but at least that means that he can try again with RushJet. greatjhon now in Snake Man as his seventh stage. Yeah. Sorry, I got so fixated on what was happening on Zeegee's screen that I forgot that greatjhon went through Needleman. It's basically barely talked about it. So now they're basically in sync, but greatjhon is a couple stages ahead of Zeegee at this point. No. This screen is so bad. Every slide timing is a little bit different because of all the lag, and then also, you have to kind of walk a pretty significant distance on certain slides, because otherwise you'll slide right into the pole vaulter. It's kind of miserable. If you're talking about using the second controller, that's explicitly forbidden. Anything involving the second controller is completely unallowed in speedruns, except for the specific category that we have for it. Alright, so I'm concerned about Zeegee's ammo again. We'll see how it goes. It looks like it could be okay this time, actually. Yeah, we're good. Zeegee is through. And greatjhon has done the fight, and so now is just over 2 stages ahead. Pardon me. And I will be going into his final Robot Master in Sparkman. Alright. Zeegee with a decent fight, but kind of ended up away from the center of the screen. You want to be as close to the center of the screen as possible when ending fights, and you also kind of want to have the boss die close to the center of the screen as well. And the reason for that is that the boss explosion bubbles have to all be off screen before you can collect the weapon, and then when collecting the weapon, you go to the center of the screen. And you can't walk. Oh, if you're talking about, it's getting RushJet early, yeah, it's allowed, but it's not fast. There's basically no reason to do it. Or rather, I guess I should say, there's no reason to do it because you have to rely on a very lucky drop. But it does make a certain alternative route possible, which is slightly faster. But it's allowed, but nobody really does it because it's such a bad idea in practice. Zeegee is kind of low in health. I'm a little bit worried. There is still a fair number of damage sources left in the stage, so we'll see how this goes. greatjhon in the last screen of Sparkman stage. Again, Sparkman kind of a breezier stage than most, which is why it goes last. Ooh, getting the 1-jump pattern, my favorite pattern, even though I think that the 2-jump is strictly faster. Zeegee having a grand old time jetting over all of these Yoku blocks that greatjhon had to do manually. Alright, handily dispatching the Springer, and now I think just above 2-hit health from Magnet Man. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, especially if one of the hits is the Magnet Missile. That does less than contact damage. Okay. Alright. So that's 6 robots down for Zeegee, 8 robots down for greatjhon. greatjhon now heading into his first Doc robot stage, Doc Spark. These runners do not share the same Doc stages route, so that may become confusing, but don't worry, I guess. I'm just as confused as you are. Zeegee heading into Hardman stage, going to use Shadow Blade in the first screen instead of Magnet Missile, most likely. One of the nice things about that, especially as an earlier runner, is that you don't have to worry about like having low ammo for the fight. It's very easy to throw Magnet Missiles into iframes when fighting Hardman. And if you only have 8, so like 1 spare ammo, that can be a problem. Looks like a pretty good metal fight for greatjhon. Very nice. Oh, he was teasing. He was teasing the music despawn, but didn't do it. Similar to Doc Shadow, you can actually despawn the music in Doc Spark as well in the second half of the stage. But the setup is a little bit more involved, and also like there are some weird things. Like certain pixels are safe and others are unsafe, but like have a greater success rate. And then also, it seems like sometimes what you thought was a safe pixel might actually not be safe. There's like all sorts of updated science and pseudoscience about that. Zeegee, okay, decent luck with the first dozer. Let's see, okay, decent luck with the second dozer. And not stuffed by the third either. Very nice. The run is live, but the commentary is a repeat. Oh, showing off Shadow Blade against Proto in Hardman. Oh, baby. So that's actually, there's a whole route in this, like, there's a whole alternative route in this stage centered around that, using Shadow Blade to fight Proto Man. Usually it involves using, keeping Rush Coil through the sort of middle portion of the stage. But that's a completely valid way to go about it as well. Ooh, greatjhon taking the top route? Oh my goodness. So there's the top route in the next screen that's like a lot more commonly done, but top route in that screen, that's something that I haven't seen maybe ever, or at least in a long time. So I'm really happy to have seen that. Okay, looks like he's gonna go bottom route after all. It's unfortunate, like, there are certain types of mistake you can make that just kind of lock you out of the possibility of doing something. Alright, Doc Flash. So both of these players are on the US cart, which means that Doc Flash shoots forever, and you're frozen forever. It sucks, but looks like greatjhon handled it pretty well. And now going to head into the lake here. Last time, he took a pretty conservative route that basically just killed all the Podons while riding Rush Jet across the entire lake. And it seems like this is a repeat of that. Zeegee, about halfway through Sparkman stage. Ooh, oh, you just barely made it! It's you cut it pretty close when you're doing that approach to that screen. Alright, Doc Bubble. Doc Bubble can shoot 1, 2, or 3 bubbles and then jump. So it looks like greatjhon got the unfortunate laggiest version. And then 2 bubble for a second pattern. Alright. Decently handled otherwise. Zeegee wisely using Rush Jet to clear across these gaps. There are ways to make it, you know, safe for pedestrian travel, but Rush Jet is always going to be the safest option because it stays below you. And greatjhon showing off the Doc Shadow music despawn once more. So again, you die on the same frame as you transition screens, and it cancels you dying, but it also doesn't restore the music. So you save a couple seconds on lag because the NES CPU is actually doing like basically all the music processing. Okay, that's a very perilous part of the stage, honestly. A pretty difficult thing to like consistently get through without dying, but greatjhon manages it, no problem. Zeegee onto the very difficult first screen of Doc Gemini. I'm choosing to mostly not slide, which is probably a good policy. Although it could make things more difficult, paradoxically, later. Yeah, stuff like, so these bugs walking forward and you're like, magnets don't quite track right unless you were doing the slides as expected, basically. Alright, greatjhon doesn't quite have enough ammo, so he has to stick around there a little bit, take some damage, and get iframes to cross the gap. Switching to top spin for this Doc Heat fight. Alright, so he's going to be looking for a double hit. I don't think he got one last time. But he got like 330s, if I recall correctly. This time... Oh no! Okay. He saw it. Alright, we're good. That was terrifying. He had 4 HP. Doc Heat does 4 HP on contact, so... Alright, Zeegee threw his first Doc Robot Master. Doc Flash. And now heading into the lake area of Doc Gemini. greatjhon entering Doc Needle. Sorry, I don't know why that took so long for me to parse. Okay. Oh, Zeegee getting a little owned by the Podons there. Those are that's such a relatable problem to have. That's such a deceptively difficult screen. Alright, let's see if greatjhon has any better luck with Airman than he did last time. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot of shots and not too many hits so far. Again, like, if you're spamming like this, ammo can become an important resource. And it looks like he finishes with similar health and ammo as last time. He jumps over... Oh my goodness! Oh, okay. Sorry, meanwhile I missed Zeegee's fight, but it seems like it went off relatively without a hitch. Ooh. When there's excitement happening on multiple screens at once, it's so difficult to follow it all, especially when they're on separate stages and like far removed from each other. It's like greatjhon surviving relatively well in this jet section. Although, okay, so he actually takes an E-Tank, and that's not a bad idea, because there is still a lot of things that can do tons of damage. Like, for example, these giant Mets, they do 8 damage on contact, and he had less than that for sure. Alright, Zeegee. We're gonna see the... No, it doesn't look like we're doing music despawn this time either. Very nice. So he's using Hard Knuckle here against Clashman. So Doc Clash will jump when you press the B button, but like the size of that jump is randomized. But it looks like greatjhon's using a sort of... I don't know, it's like the Mega Man 3 analog to the way that Prissy fights Clash in Rockman 2. Where you kind of stick in the corner, and the fight becomes a little bit more predictable. Alright, Zeegee pulls off the clutch jump section without a hitch, and also without a clutch jump. But we're not gonna cast judgment because of that. So Darkwood is a fight that does a lot of damage at some times. Although it looks like he's deliberately taking damage off of the falling leaves instead of the actual like leaf shield itself, which is pretty cool. It's a way to avoid taking too much damage. I'm using Gemini here to save magnet ammo for the next screen. Another cool approach. greatjhon starting Wily stages. And, you can see how far you are to the right on this screen. That actually makes it kind of claustrophobic in this area. You have like very little notice of when enemies are spawning, so you really just have to know. It's funny Zeegee jumping over the spare ammo that he doesn't need, although that's probably not actually a savings of time, because it's very quick to collect small drops in this game. Only 4 frames of freezing time. That was close to a double hit there, but not quite the cigar. Okay, greatjhon going to use the more, you know, I don't know, safe strat, easy strat of using topspin here against these turtles. Topspin, like, you turns your whole body into a hitbox, and you have, like, pretty precise control over your positioning. Whereas Shadow Blade, like, you shoot it once, and then it kind of goes. Zeegee taking an unfortunate death on the spikes in the first screen of Doc Needle, but it looks like he's taking it in stride and just continuing. greatjhon continuing through the Wily stages into this like gigantic long screen in Wily 2. See how it goes. All right. It can be kind of dangerous to get all up in the bees' faces like that, especially if you're on the US version, because if you get knocked down into the spike pit, it's much more difficult to recover that. And we even saw that in the last race, where one of our racers fell down there and just took a death straight up because they couldn't get out. All right, CG with a little bit of a faster start on Airman here. Let's see how it goes. All right, that's actually pretty good. Oh no, greatjhon doesn't get easy double. He's got 1 health left. That's too bad. So again, it is 10 hits between 2 jumps. So you have to be a pretty consistent jump masher in order to make that work. It's absolutely no slight against a runner if they can't make it. Yes, this is game 2 of a best of 3. greatjhon currently leads with 1 win. Alright. Using coil here through this dark room. You use coil here just because you don't want to switch weapons yet. And when you summon rush, you get access to a couple shots of a buster, so it's fine. Oop. Preserving his health there a little bit. Alright, let's see. Oh, no best friend. You can actually get like a frame perfect rush summon there and like get up here even earlier. And it kills the boss extremely quickly. And colloquially, we call that best friend. Even though rush is always our best friend. Zeegee just heading into the very end of this Doc Needle stage now. So he's... Is it similar pace? It's roughly similar pace to before, because he does have one more. He does have one more stage to go before he goes into the Wily stages. Okay. Snake Man refight. Ooh, he's taking a lot of damage. Thankfully he didn't take one more hit, because one more hit would have been death there, I believe. So now he's gonna have to pick up a lot of health that he wouldn't normally want to, I think. First, like, probably you want to take Hardman's health in this case, and maybe also Gemini's. Zeegee facing no difficulty in this first part of Doc Spark stage. Very nice. Yeah, okay, he goes all the way over here, and he's gonna take this health. That's probably the best policy. And depending on how Gemini goes, he probably doesn't have to take any more health. Very nice. So again, Gemini against Gemini is 4 damage, just like every other Robot Master with their own weapon in this game. Alright. Out of an abundance of caution, he takes the needle health as well. That's most likely unnecessary for these last couple fights, but, you know, when you're this far ahead in a race, there's no reason not to be safe. Zeegee again opting not to use the despawn method for this basement. Alright. Only 2 boss fights separate greatjhon from a second win and a series win here against Zeegee. And let's see how it goes. First off, good. Oh, okay, so that's just the way he always does it. It always looks terrifying. Alright, fine. This time it works out, though. He's got 2 leg snakes instead of 3. And takes down Wily Machine, no problem. Zeegee now heading into castles, just separated with this Breakman fight. Very nice. Alright, greatjhon gonna fight Gamma now. Let's see how it goes. It's a potential for a 38-minute time. Very, very respectable. Okay, looks like a good switch. And he's done, 38.42. Very nice time from greatjhon there. There's more Mega Man to go. Alright, here we go. Zeegee in Wily 1. It's a fair number of E-tanks, if I recall correctly. And, I mean, even if he doesn't have that many E-tanks already, Wily 2 gives you basically a bunch of them all at once. So, plenty of resources coming into this castle. Let's see how it goes. Health already looking a little worrisome. But okay. Switching to Rush Jet nice and early. Even, I appreciate that. I like that. I like that idea. You don't use the Rush Jet too much in the castles, but, still, Zeegee, just, like, doing some little hops against the ceiling to conserve ammo. Whenever you're not standing on Rush Jet, the ammo doesn't tick down. And using Shadow Blade once again against the Kamegoro Maker. Nice shots. And that was decent patterns to start as well. Okay. Oh no! Alright. It can get kind of dangerous and worrisome once the fast turtles get going and you can't hit them instantly. Okay. Let's see the approach to the bees here. I'm taking it nice and easy over the spikes again. Every slide that you add to this game is like another... It's another moment that you add to the run where you could just like not press the A button and instantly die. So... yeah, I wouldn't be too hard on people who, like, tend to walk a little bit more than is strictly necessary in these games. So I'm expecting that Zeegee will use a similar strat to the last time, where he just stands kind of at the foot and angles the Shadow Blade upwards into the eye, doing a sort of non-mashing strat. Almost got 5 hits there. That would have been pretty sick. Again, it's 10 hits in total, so like if you can get 5 hits per cycle, then you can 2-cycle it, which would be pretty nice. Alright, looks like it's gonna be a relatively non-problematic 3-phase kill there. Very nice. Alright. Seems to have resolved the difficulty he had there last time. Oh. Oh no! Jumps into the shot! Okay, so... once this goes off the rails, it can, like, get really bad. But thankfully, just calmly returns, coils again. we're off down into the underground room here. I don't really know how to parse this, like, stage layout. I don't really know what this is supposed to be, but it's a cool stage, so that's all it is. There's a Frogger section here. Very nice. Nicely done by Zeegee. So now it looks like he's going to go to use Snake again against the clones. Snake, again, uses... sorry, it does 7 damage, so just 4 hits. And that's actually how many hits it takes with topspin as well, but you can kind of abuse the topspin mechanics and also the coil swap to make the fight faster with the topspin. Looks like Zeegee gonna fill up on Shadow Blades again. Let's see, does he get the wiggle? Oh, he doesn't even do the wiggle, but he does make it this time, so very nice. Okay, he's gonna just kind of bash his way through that double junk golem room. Those guys are terrifying, honestly. So let's see, what's his approach to the refights now? He's coming in with a little bit more health. Okay, so it looks like he's just gonna follow the same procedure as last time, and likely finishing off with with Sparkman at the end. Oh, okay, that was a little bit dangerous. I was worried that he was gonna like spin into iframes and lose all of his ammo, but looks like it's fine. Oh. Okay. Alright, he knows better than to shoot directly into the top man. Do not stare directly at top man. He's gonna take health from Hardman, that's pretty good. He's got a pretty decent amount of health. If he can no damage the Gemini fight, then he might not even need to take more health after this. Oh, he's using Snake, which is like not very conducive to a low damage fight, so. Alright, he's gonna take the health. I appreciate that choice. I think that's a good choice. Heading up to Needleman now. He's got lots of Gemini lasers. Hopefully he won't miss any. Okay, good. Oh, that's a little too early. That's too bad. Maybe... Hell yeah. Needleman the bro. Alright. Snake Man fight. Let's see how it goes. Not too shabby. Now probably just gonna go to Shadow and defeat both of these last 2 bosses with it. Oh, taking the jump a little bit short there. Alright, very nice. It's just 4 hits on Magnet and 7 hits on Spark, and then he's out of here. Oh! Oh my goodness, that was such a good... That was such a sick strat. I really enjoy people's like various approaches to the boss fights in this game, and it really comes out it really comes out to the forefront in Wily 4 here when you do this refight section. It's so fun to watch all the different runners' approaches to refights. Honestly, I'll never get bored of that. Okay, Looks like Snake into Rush Jet as before. We are looking pretty good for a sub 50-minute time from Zeegee. Very respectable. All that remains is Gamma. Zeegee has plenty of resources, so I think it should be okay. Alright, Zeegee looks like he's gonna take the same approach as last time. He's gonna jump right in there. Oh no! He didn't topspin before touching the bubble, so he just kind of got knocked down all the way. Oh! He didn't quite make it. Alright, he's gonna E-tank. He can still get in under 50 minutes. We're still in there. He's just got... Oh no! You have to press B, like, before touching this little capsule there that's holding Wily, because otherwise he won't like freeze in place. It's unfortunate. All right. Whoa, whoa! Okay, that was a little bit dicey. And he got clipped by the shot. That's too bad. This is reminding me a little bit of the time Tiki made submission to Twin Galaxies. Oh no! He didn't have enough health! Okay, so I guess just right back into the fray. He's got plenty of E-tanks and other resources left. It's fine. Alright, let's go. Oh, he almost got the whole thing there. There we go. GG to Zeegee. GG to greatjhon as well. Let me see if we can get them into here for an interview. Just 1 second, we're gonna get people in here for an interview. All right. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not too much. I had a lot of fun watching some people play Mega Man 3. This is greatjhon joining us, the winner of today's match. And
had a lot of fun playing Mega Man 3.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a lot of fun to play. If I do
Absolutely.
Self to play. You got a little bit of echo, Zeegee.
I lowered the background noise. Sorry.
All right. So, what do you think, greatjhon? Was a pretty strong couple runs. Finished off with I believe you said a PB, right?
Yeah, I was I was on PB pace the first run too. I just totally blew it away with the machine fight. So yeah, the second run was a PB by a couple seconds.
Very nice. Super happy about that. It's always that's like getting a PB in a race is something that's absolutely wild to me. It's something that almost never happens, and like when you get something like that, it's hard not to feel good.
Yeah, it's happened a lot in recent tourneys where I didn't know the game at all, so I'm glad to see I can do it in a game that I've been playing for a long time.
Very nice. Zeegee, as someone a little bit newer, I want to thank you for coming and showing your stuff. I think that you got a really unique approach to some of the stages, and I had a lot of fun watching your runs. So please keep at it. Especially, I await your upcoming losers bracket, bottom bracket, I guess I should say, career with great interest.
Well, to be fair, like I enjoyed running this game, but compared to doing Big 20 and Nescathon recently, mixed in with the de-rusting of this game, it just like a lot to take in. And now that I got the other stuff out of the way, I can finally try to improve what I've really fell back on today for better preparation for the losers bracket match.
Yeah, very nice. I don't know. I think I spoke about this a little bit during the run itself, but like I really appreciate how many different ways that there are to approach things like the refight chamber in Wily 4, or even some of the boss fights. Between the two of you, we got to see a lot of different boss strats, and I'm really grateful for that because I love everything about this game, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
To contribute.
Do you have any specific comments, things that you wish you had been able to prepare more, things that you felt went well about your runs?
Honestly, like I said, I was prepping for so many different streaming events. It's like it was hard to juggle all that in, and to get this in like right before I'm about to get my set of races in, I just have to try to see where my weak points are. Maybe try to work on the mashing on some of the bosses, and maybe that could help me improve a bit. And I could just like study on the more advanced runs, and I could pick up a couple more things along the way.
Well, that sounds like a really solid approach to me. What about you, greatjhon? What's next for you in Mega Man 3? You got anything that you have been looking at picking up?
Yeah, I'm besides Mega Man 3, but I'm still gonna keep practicing at this one. Like I've had.
Well, no. I sorry, I was talking about like strats and stuff. Is there anything
totally.
Like you just got a PB, right? What's next?
Exactly. Yeah, a better PB, obviously.
Yeah.
I've had a cold all week, so I'm like I haven't been able to practice until like yesterday. So I'm glad I was able to de-rust just enough. But yeah, I want to get more consistent easy devil. I got it in one of the runs, but not both. I didn't
You
get
were so close that second time.
I know. And the quick kill on the machine, I missed that the other run. So it was like if I would have got both in one run, it would have like been an easy PB. So yeah, just more consistent mashing, obviously. Yeah, and dock stages as always. I think we all need to work on our dock stages.
I still need work on dock stages.
Yeah, Gemini and specific, both levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna push to get closer to a 37. I think.
Very nice. I eagerly await that as well. So your next opponent is me. That's weird to think about. That's why I actually took such great interest in this match to begin with. I really wanted to see this one scope out the competition. Do you have any words for me, your next opponent?
I mean, all you can do is bless us with a really bad run, and maybe I can get a really, really amazing one. But I anticipate you will.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
But I'm still gonna have fun, obviously.
All right. Thanks. Any final comments from either of you?
It was a great race, John, and good luck against Fatso in the next round.
Yeah, good luck. Like I said, I'll probably be seeing you at the bottom bracket soon.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to the both of you. So for our next currently scheduled Mega Man 3 action, we've got, looks like Wednesday the 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Speedy versus Nitro. And that channel is as yet undetermined, but it is coming up. Keep it under consideration. And with that, I think that I have nothing left to say. Thanks so much for this series of races. I had a lot of fun commentating and watching it. And best of luck to both of you in the future rounds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.